Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Arabic Khatawaat. In this lesson, we're going to go over context-based Arabic vocabulary. We will think about or of possible Arabic phrases we may need in about 15 different places. We've covered these places in the live study session, but due to some technical issues with the sound, we're going to go over it here with a streamed lesson. Please use the live chat to place your examples as well as your translation. But you have to imagine yourselves really, truly in that situation in order for you to recall some previously learned Arabic phrases. We have, like I said, about 15 different locations. We'll start looking at, here we go. We're going to just switch to these places. This is part of a learning strategy called context-based learning. We all learn Arabic vocab in random situations. Unit vocab might introduce us to a situation we might not end up at, but we have to decide where we usually go and what words I need to utilize or use. We'll go over this list first, and I'll translate one by one. As I go through the translation, look for words that could be applicable or that are words that are applicable in these locations, situations, or relevant contexts. So if I am watching sports, that would be a court or like a field or soccer field. So if I am traveling, that would be the airport. So I'll go over these words and please take notes as I translate one by one. Place your examples in the chat or in your worksheets if you are taking this unit with us, inshallah. So the first one would be al-amal, al-amal, work, al-amal, al-amal, الرياضة, الرياضة, sport, الرياضة, العمل, work, المتحف, 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 museum, المدرسة, المدرسة, school, المكتبة, so here we have the fourth place, المدرسة. Fifth place would be المكتبة. And sixth place would be المطار, airport. So we have المكتبة, library, المطار, airport, السوق, market, المؤتمر, and I can say just مؤتمر, which is conference. And I can define a noun, and I can say المؤتمر, المؤتمر. Then we have مباريات, مباريات for sports, مباريات, which is like sports matches. And I'm just gonna call it, there are matches and they're related to sports. So مباريات, like games as well. Let me put this word as games. And it's the plural form. If I'm trying to use the singular form, it would be مبارات, and I have to say مبارات with تاء مربوطة. مباراة. مباراة كرة القدم. 10 would be السفر. السفر. السفر, which is travel. And it's also a gerund, traveling. The 11th one would be الطبيعة. الطبيعة, where in nature, maybe in the mountains here. الجبال, plural mountains. الجبال. 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 Now I go to 13. التكنولوجيا, technology. التكنولوجيا, التكنولوجيا. So if I'm thinking about technology, it's usually a word that you would hear in English, but it's teknolojia. Teknolojia. 14 would be الاحتفالات, which is festivities, feasts, celebrations. And I'll just say feasts here or celebrations. And of course, احتفالات, which is like festivities. Then the other one would be البحر. البحر. When I'm at the beach, what do you do? البحر. البحر. Objects, verbs, people you see, things you buy, things you eat. All of those are part of context-based learning. Now, if I take one situation and I have to look for at least 10 words. At least 10 words. They can be verbs, like I said, أفعال. They can be objects. They can be people. They can be a place, another place in the same location. So أنا في البحر. ممكن هناك like استراحة, rest area مثلا. أو فندق. فندق في البحر. هناك if you say فندق, that's hotel, and we say فندق في البحر, hotel at the beach. Then I can think of a gerund, which is the noun of the verb, or expressions. Any idiomatic expressions that I might use at that specific location, or signs I can read. If you're at the beach, you have مثلا إغاثة. إغاثة, rescue. إغاثة, and you could say فريق الإغاثة, rescue team. فريق الإغاثة, فريق الإغاثة. So if you're reading a sign, you are at the beach and you see a sign that says إغاثة, إغاثة, that's rescue. Or خطر, danger, خطر, danger. Or مد. So all of those are different signs you might see if you are at the beach. So if I go and I select one location, like I said, I could possibly think of maybe 10. So if I say رياضة, 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 I have رياضة. We usually associate رياضة with مباراة. And we would say the word مباراة, مباراة, مباراة as a singular, and then we would say مباريات as a plural. So if I'm going to say I watch or I practice sports, so I would say أحب مشاهدة الرياضة, watching. And I'm using gerund, مشاهدة الرياضة. أحب ممارسة الرياضة, ممارسة, ممارسة. And if I say ممارسة, that means it's a practice. If I want to get a verb, I have to say مارسة, which rhymes with سافر, but the gerund pattern is different from مارسة and سافر. The gerunds are different. مشاهدة has to do with شاهد, شاهد, and it also rhymes with مارسة, to watch. And this is like observing, watching, witnessing. So this would be الرياضة. Some students said we like to watch instead of playing. So we would say أفضل, I prefer, أفضل لعب الرياضة, maybe playing. لعب الرياضة. أفضل لعب الرياضة. Let me write it here. And I'm taking only one scenario, one situation. And I'm saying أفضل لعب let me so right here. أفضل لعب الرياضة. and I want to say بدل instead of. بدل بدل مشاهدتها. And مشاهدة is a noun. مشاهدة feminine. You see the تاء مربوطة over here? I bring it to مشاهدتها. Watch in it. And الرياضة is feminine. Oh. الرياضة is feminine over here. So you have the تاء مربوطة. So I say watch in it. The it that refers to رياضة has to be ha. So I prefer playing sports rather than or instead of watching it. Some people like to watch but they don't like to play. فنقول أحب مشاهدة الرياضة لا أحب لعبها. But if I say ممارسة, I practice. This is practicing. فأحتاج أن أمارس. I need to practice. أحتاج أن أمارس رياضة التنس. I need to practice the sport of tennis or tennis sports. فأحتاج أن أمارس. Now, if I want to use more verbs, and usually if you are excited to watch a game, you see people cheering, you look at the court, you want to name everything, everything that you see when you're playing sports or when you are watching sports. So my first word that I'm thinking about, and this is where all brainstorming, you can use the live chat or use your worksheets to put any words that occur to you. And I'm still referring to الرياضة. My situation here is الرياضة, or my context is الرياضة. I need vocab, I need words, I need things I need to remember. And I would say شجع, cheer, شجع, شجع. Who do you cheer? شجع, he cheered. شجع فريق. فريق. شجع فريق بلده. He supported or he cheered for or he supported his country's team. So I have شجع and I have فريق. Now, if I want to say the plural form, I say مشجعون, like cheerleaders. مشجع is the singular, and I would use una if I'm referring to a group of people. And I say مشجعون, مشجعون, مشجعون. فالفعل هو شجع, شجع. But if you have this situation where you're learning شجع and you're learning you are مشجع, you want to get the courage. That's a different situation. If you say, I need to have the courage to do something. فنقول تشجع. 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 He got the courage. Because courage is شجاعة. And the beautiful thing about these words, when you are learning, one leads you to another. شجاعة. 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 Courage. So تشجع comes from شجاعة. ولكن if I say شجع, this is courage as a concept, not a gerund, as a concept. So if I say أحب تشجيع, I like cheering for, I would say تشجيع. So now if I think of this situation I have, let me count how many words. I have تشجيع as a gerund, شجع to cheer, فريق, مشجعون, تشجع, it reminded me of تشجع, to have the courage to do something, and I need the word for courage, it's شجاعة. But if I say someone courageous, see one word taking me to another, I say, oh, لاعب شجاع, he's a courageous player. And I keep that in the exact same context. فنقول لاعب, player, شجاع. شجاع. Brave, brave. شجاع. شجاع. Now, this is just about sports. You can think of any other words that you might need. Again, everybody uses words or chooses words differently depending on what they like and what they don't like. So you have to individualize or kind of personalize your word list and see which words do you usually use in your native language in this specific context, which is الرياضة. Now, if I am in المطار, I'll just go and put single words now. So الرياضة المطار تذكرة سفر tickets تذكرة سفر طيارة تذكرة سفر رحلة trip رحلة تأخر delayed. So I can say any words that usually occur to me in my native language. I need to be able to identify them in the target language. So al-matar would be the airport. I can think of تذكرة سفر, which is ticket. I need to also refer to رحلة, which is trip. تأخر, delay. تأخرت الطائرة. وصول, arrival. وصول, arrival. And we say also مغادرة, departure. مغادرة departure. وطبعا we say السفر, which is the gerund of سافر. And here الرياضة we would use مشاهدة, فريق, لاعب for player, ملعب for court, مشجع cheerleader, مشجع. I can say علم for flag. I can say نشيد for نشيد وطني, national anthem. If you hear نشيد وطني, and like I said, every person will say the words that occur to him or her during that situation. Now I got المطار and I got الرياضة. Now I need متحف, museum. If I go to a متحف, what do? I buy, أشتري. أعرض, I showcase it, because متحف has معرض also. It could have an exhibition where you share something. صور, images. I could say كنوز, like treasures. كنوز. Any word that you might think of when you go to a museum. You need تذكرة, ticket. I have it here. تذكرة دخول, entrance ticket. So أشتري تذكرة لزيارة متحف, to visit المتحف. We say زيارة. Now المكتبة, the first thing that occurs to me when I say مكتبة, it's هدوء, like being a place that's calm. So I would say هادئ, مكان هادئ. Is it مزدحم? Maybe. Some libraries are crowded. I would say مزدحم. قراءة, reading, occurs to me. قراءة. I can think of كتب. وما أنواع الكتب? What type of books? كتب تاريخية, كتب فنية, كتب أدبية. And I define what type of كتب. المدرسة, أفهم, I understand. ماذا عندي؟ عندي دروس, عندي واجبات, عندي أساتذة, teachers. And then I keep going. أفهم الدروس, لا أفهم الدروس. عندي واجبات كثيرة هذه الأيام. عندي أستاذة صعبة, عندي أساتذة جدد, new teachers. عندي أساتذة من العراق. I have teachers from Iraq. So you can even identify the nationality, or just retrieve some words that you learned in previous lessons. Now, if I have all of this, I need to be able to build sentences or create a situation. I can even put an entire text. And my favorite part is when I think of words that usually happen in situations that are some sort of educational, usually thinking about al maktaba because you're studying, it's a library. So I want to say, where do I find the nearest library? أين أجد? Let me put it a lighter color. أين أجد? أين أجد? And this is the verb وجد. أين أجد أقرب مكتبة؟ عامة, I need public. أقرب مكتبة عامة. عامة or خاصة, private. Public is عامة, خاصة is private. وطنية is national. المكتبة الوطنية. This is my sentence. My situation would be في زيارتي مثلا في زيارتي لمدينة واشنطن دي سي مثلا في زيارتي لمدينة واشنطن دي سي I decided قررت ماذا؟ قررت أن أزور to visit أزور أقدم the oldest أقدم مكتبة أمريكية the oldest American library. And if I want to say عامة, I can say عامة. I want to say local, I can say محلية. محلية, local. So خاصة would be private. وطنية, national. See how many descriptions I have? عامة would be public. أمريكية, American. Now it could be open or closed. Those are the things I say. It was closed, so مغلقة. مغلق is closed. So because it's feminine, I would say مغلقة. If it's مفتوحة, it was مفتوحة, كانت مفتوحة. كانت مفتوحة. It was open. كانت مفتوحة. And this is just المكتبة. I can think of verbs, of gerunds, and everything possible. Now, in order for me to stay in the exact same context, what can I do? I go to an Arabic-speaking country. Most of the Arabic-speaking countries have now websites, مواقع, for their national or public libraries. And this one is from Qatar. مكتبة قطر الوطنية, Qatar National Library. And I found this and I took the text. You can also go to it yourself and you go to مكتبة قطر الوطنية, and the text is subject to change because depending on the events that are taking place. But this is recent, just yesterday that I took this one, and they have some events related to this month's planning. So you can go to it, and this is the text that I found, where I took most of the words that I would recall since I took them in class. Let's say ساعات, hours. I'll go back to this one. So I have ساعات عمل, operation hours. I need this one. Operation hours of what? ساعات عمل المكتبة, the library. أيام مباريات. Now I learned مباريات are games or matches. And I know أيام are days. So the the days of the matches or the days of the games or during the games basically. أيام كأس كأس آسيا. Asian Cup or Asia Cup. So Asia is Asia, and then here is Cup. We don't have World Cup or anything. We just have Cup at كأس آسيا. باستاد stad, which is stadium. It should be ملعب بملعب بملعب المدينة التعليمية. The educational city. المدينة التعليمية. If I zoom in to the text, here you can see it. So here ساعات عمل المكتبة في أيام مباريات كأس آسيا بملعب المدينة التعليمية أو باستاد المدينة التعليمية. And I go to the text down here and I have so many words that I might be able to recognize. خلال, during, خلال. مباريات كأس آسيا. I already explained that. خلال during مباريات كأس آسيا باستاد أو بملعب المدينة التعليمية. Educational city. ستفتح. Oh, this is a new verb. ستفتح. It will open. And this one المكتبة, the library will open its doors. أبوابها. And because maktaba is feminine, I have أبوابها. أبوابها. Its doors. And this is plural. So I go فتح باب. He opened the door. فتح باب المكتبة. He opened the library's door. And I keep going. Now let me see. يومي. This tells me that it's a dual because I have the ya. يومي what? 14 يناير. And I have another date. 3 فبراير. So this is recent. فبراير, February 3rd. Now I have time. من 8 صباحا حتى until 3 عصرا. Until 3 p.m. Which is عصر is عصر prayer is like afternoon. فقط, only. ومن and from. ومن 8 صباحا until حتى 1 ظهرا. 1 at noon. ظهر is noon. فقط. I have also فقط. أيام, the days of 23 25 30 من يناير. So you see how the dates are listed. 23 25 30 يناير. ولن يسمح للسيارات. And it won't be permissible. The cars will not be permitted or allowed. It will not be allowed. ولن يسمح. Who's not allowed? السيارات. للسيارات. The cars will not be allowed to what? During those days, to do what? To enter. بالدخول. Now I have دخول. What's the verb? دخل دخل دخل. The beautiful thing is I have the opposite. الخروج, exit. الخروج, الخروج. I'll zoom out. الخروج. Okay. And then I have الخروج من أين؟ من المدينة التعليمية. The educational city. من, see how many mins I have? 5 ساعات. 5 hours. قبل المباراة. And here is مباراة. Before the game or the match. Until حتى ساعتين بعدها. So after I go word by word translation, I read the entire text and see, am I able to understand what they're trying to tell me? So the cars will not be allowed to enter or exit the educational city um, for 5 hours before the game and 2 hours after the game. So now you have to take notes. And it is as well. So كما يجب إخلاء. You need to evacuate, clear. إخلاء. إخلاء is evacuation or clearing. إخلاء السيارات من المواقف. To clear the cars. The cars needs to be cleared or evacuated from the parking lots. So المواقف are parking lots. قبل موعد الإغلاق. Do you see how you have فتح here? ستفتح will open. And here I have إغلاق, closing. So I say فتح is the opposite of أغلق as a verb. المذكور is mentioned. I have another verb. وننصح بشدة. And we advise بشدة firmly. شدة firmly. بعدم it is not allowed. إحضار سيارتك. Bring in. So the verb here is أحضر, to bring. We advise that you do not bring your car. On the 3rd of February, يوم 3 فبراير, because حيث يجب it must, it is a must to evacuate all cars by around 8:30 بحلول الساعة 8:30 صباحا. وستكون المكتبة مغلقة. Here is it's closed here as an adjective. See, we learned closed. We learned days, مباراة, مباريات. And here we have الجمعة ويناير. That would be it for just one paragraph. And imagine how many words you can learn from here. To visit the library لزيارة المكتبة في الأيام المذكورة mentioned في الأيام المذكورة نوصي باستخدام المترو. Here is نوصي. أوصى يوصي. أوصى يوصي, which is to advise, or it's like comes from وصية. باستخدام using, and we learned how to say أستخدم التكنولوجيا. I use technology. باستخدام المترو green line الخط الأخضر. للوصول to arrive, or this is arriving. You can see that إغلاق, وصول, إخلاء, استخدام, زيارة, إحضار, نزول. All of these are the ones you see in yellow. All of them are gerunds. إحضار. محطة مكتبة قطر الوطنية. And محطة, I'll write it here. محطة is station. Here is a word for a sign. محطة قطار المترو. محطة المترو. هنا توصيل. توصيل is a gerund. This I should have put it in yellow. توصيل is a gerund because you're saying أوصل يوصل توصيل. He deliver, or to to deliver something, or to basically توصيل is delivery. فنقول أوصل يوصل توصيل. نزول descending, exiting, coming down. نزول. الركاب, here we got الركاب, passengers. بالمحطة, in the station. That was quite a lot of vocab just from one announcement. If you take this right here, all of it, you see, little doodle, you go to the website, you can see more vocab. If you're thirsty for more words, thirsty for more vocabulary, you'll find this exact same text. Hopefully it won't change these coming days, so just go there and copy paste it to your Word document so you can have it. and use it. As you go over some vocab here, you can check out the announcements or إعلانات, فعاليات over here, and it has so many different vocab that you can use. Remember, scenario-based vocabulary allows you to learn more words, and it also gives you the opportunity to put real life interaction with the target language and the target culture, because we're using Qatar National Library as an active website that people will be using and are using. For instance, you can choose another library في مصر, in Egypt, in Morocco, in any other country that still operates until nowadays. So that'll be all for today. I hope you can go over these words and you can pause, play, and listen to the translation. We've covered quite a lot today, mashallah. Thank you for joining, and inshallah, I'll see you in the upcoming sessions. Assalamu alaikum.